See him in number 1. Some scholars think that the name Tamahu, found in a hieroglyphic inscription depicting a tall, light-complexioned man, is the Egyptian equivalent for Ptolemy. This Canaanite name also occurs in the Ras Shamra texts of the period of the Judges. 2. A son of Ammihud, king of Jeshurun. 2 Sa 13. 37 Almai's daughter Maacah bore Absalom to David. 2 Sa 3. 3. 1 Ch 3. 2 After having Amnon killed for violating his sister Tamar, Absalom fled to his grandfather Ptolemy. 2 Sa 13. 28, 29, 37, 38. Talmon Talmunde, head of a post-exilic Levitical family of gatekeepers. After having returned from Babylon with Zerubbabel, he and his brothers were chosen to live in Jerusalem. 1 Ch 9. 3, 17. Es 2. 42. Ne 7. 45. 11. 1, 19. 12. 25. Tamar palm tree. 1. Daughter-in-law of Jacob's son Judah. Tamar married Judah's first son, but Jehovah put her to death for his wickedness, leaving Tamar a widow. She was then given Onan, but Jehovah put him to death for failure to perform brother-in-law marriage, and Tamar still remained a childless widow. Judah procrastinated in giving her his third son. Tamar concealed her identity and disguised herself as a prostitute in order to get Judah himself to have relations with her, cleverly taking his seal ring, cord, and rod as security. When Judah learned that Tamar was pregnant, he at first commanded that she be burned after being stoned. Compare Job 7. 15, 25. But on learning that through her maneuvering to get an heir he had become the father, Judah exclaimed, "She is more righteous than I am." In the difficult birth that followed, Tamar produced twins, Perez and Zerah. GE 38. 6-30 The Messianic lineage is traced through her son Perez. Ru 4. 12, 18-22. 1 Ch 2. 4. Mount 1. 3. 2. A beautiful daughter of King David and full sister of Absalom. 1 Ch 3. 9. 2 Sa 13. 1 Her oldest half-brother Amnon became infatuated with her and through craftiness succeeded in violating her, though she resisted him. Absalom consoled her, kept her in his house, and 2 years later avenged Tamar by having Amnon murdered. 2 Sa 13. 1-33. 3. Daughter o textoi acute muritra longo, Tamarisk 1064 city, one that is commonly identified with Palmyra. See Tadmor. Tamarisk Hebrew, Eshel. The tamarisk grows as a tree or shrub. Though its trunk is gnarled, the branches are often band-like, giving the tree a feathery appearance. The evergreen leaves are tiny, scale-like, and pressed close to the branches, so they lose very little moisture by transpiration, enabling the trees to live in desert regions and even on sand dunes. In spring the tree blossoms with spikes of tiny pink or white flowers, which give welcome color to otherwise barren regions. Salt-loving tamarisks will often grow very near the ocean and on salt marshes. Abundant tamarisks along the banks of the Jordan form jungle-like thickets that are the habitat of wild animals, and in Bible times they may have helped compose the proud thickets along the Jordan where lions once found cover. Jah 49. 19. Zech 11. 3. Though the tamarisk is generally of relatively low height, one kind of tamarisk tree, Tamarixophylla, sometimes grows to a height of 18 meters, 60 feet. Abraham is recorded as having planted a tamarisk at Beersheba GE 21. 33. King Saul sat in the shade of a tamarisk at Gibeah 1 Sa 22. 6. And his bones and those of his sons were buried under a large tamarisk tree in Jabesh Gilead. 1 Sa 31. 13. Compare 1 Ch 10. 12, where the Hebrew word for big tree middle is used. Dr. Joseph Weitz, a noted authority on reforestation in Israel, said, "The first tree Abraham put in the soil of Beersheba was a tamarisk. Following his lead, 4 years ago we put out 2 million in the same area." Abraham was right. The tamarisk is one of the few trees we have found that thrives in the south where yearly rainfall is less than 6 inches. The Reader's Digest, March 1954, p. 30. Another type of tamarisk, Tamarix manifera, when pierced by a scale insect, exudes drops of honey-like sap that are gathered and sold to pilgrims in some places as manna. This has no relation, however, to the manna provided for Israel in the wilderness, since such true manna was miraculously provided and gathered from the ground. Acts 16. 13-15. Tambourine. A percussion instrument used since patriarchal times. The Hebrew word tof has also been translated timbrel, tambur, and tabret. GE 31. 27, kx, da, as all these renderings essentially are descriptive of the same instrument. A small hand drum of animal skin or parchment stretched on one or both sides of a wooden or metal frame, likely about 25 centimeters 10 inches in diameter. In view of its festive use, some models may have headpieces of metal.